Hello, 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 everyone. What is going on? James here, and today I bring to you my UFC 264 predictions. Let's get into this then. First fight I'll be predicting will be Max Griffin versus Carlos Condit. This fight is very, very interesting, in my opinion. You've got Condit, who is quite the combination puncher, really. Good check left hook. But his left hook's just great in general, the way he really, whips it around. He's very, very good with that. Obviously, Max Griffin's got a great jab. He does make a lot of his fights really close, though, because I'm pretty sure he's a favourite in this one. But every single fight, somehow, they're just all close fights. And he loses a few of them, to be fair, but every single fight is somehow competitive. And to be fair, Condit in his last two looked pretty good. Well, looked decent compared to the previous fights. Max Griffin in his last two looked better than ever. So you'd think he's got this in the bag, really, wouldn't you? The thing is with Condit, right? I know like that he managed to get Matt Brown on the ground, didn't he? But the thing is, Condit is so easily taken down. It's laughable. Sometimes Max Griffin goes for the right hand, then the double leg on the fence. But the thing is, Condit, you just have to tickle his foot and he goes, whoa, and then falls over. And it's like, okay. And then he's just happy to fart around in his guard for ages and just chilling guard, get beaten up, and not really make much of an effort to get up, really. So I feel like as Max Griffin has looked better than ever in his last two, and Condit's looked all right, but he's just past it now. I know that there's only a year difference, but I feel like Condit's been there, done that, been in his wars, and he ain't going to be as good as he used to be, and he doesn't really seem to have evolved that much either. He ain't working on the takedown defense, while Max Griffin looked better than ever in his last two. So I think Max Griffin gets this one done. Decision, but very competitive because he, in the past, he's made a lot of his fights where he's been favoured to win very, very close. And obviously, he got a knockout in his last one. But yeah, he got a knockout in his last one and he got a TKO before. So I know those obviously weren't like close if he's getting finishes. But you know what I mean? Previous ones where he has been favoured to win, he has, it's just somehow been a competitive fight, hasn't it? So, but Max Griffin gets this done. Competitive decision, in my opinion. All right, then. So, next fight is Michel Pereira versus Nico Price. Probably going to be the fight of the night, to be honest. Definitely, in my opinion. Very interesting fight. Nico Price, he usually loads up and throws quite hard, but has a pretty decent gas tank for the most part. While Pereira, sometimes he just lets his gas tank go. Sometimes he just, shoots too much out of his gas tank, goes for the crazy spinning techniques, goes wild all the time, and his opponent gets the win out of it, don't they? So it's going to be a brawl though, nonetheless. Pereira in his last one, Cass Williams landed a few decent strikes, but at the end of the day, Pereira was landing those really, really fast front kicks. He was landing those quick 1-2s. Sometimes he went for the crazy techniques like jumping off the cage sometimes and what have you. Overall, I think Pereira will get probably a decision win. There is a decent chance that he could just gas himself out. He went for the takedown against Carlos Williams and controlled him a bit, landed a bit of damage, but obviously Carlos Williams got back up really quickly. But yeah, interesting fight, interesting, fast-paced, fun fight in my opinion. Probably the fight of the night, as I say. I think as long as if Michel Pereira gasses himself out, then Price has got this one in the bag. But I feel like Price isn't as precise as like Chaos Williams. I know Chaos Williams mostly threw hooks and a few kicks here and there, but they were quite precise. And Michel Pereira did take him on the chin, to be fair. I feel like as long as Michel Pereira doesn't gas himself out straight away, and doesn't get too phased by Nico Price being able to take a lot of punishment, I feel like Michel Pereira will get the win. So Michel Pereira, split decision win. Yeah, might as well go for that. Next fight I'll be predicting is Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. Thing is, they're both brawlers. I know they've improved themselves a bit. Greg Hardy used to throw down a lot more, but now he likes to stick behind the 1-2. Obviously, he leans back quite a bit because he's tall. And Tai Tuivasa, he sometimes he gets taken down. He's good at getting back to his feet. He still brawls quite a bit, but I feel like he's more calculating, a little bit more technical now. Both brawlers, as I say, but they're both improved decently, And at the end of the day, I feel like what it's going to come down to is probably Greg Hardy's gas tank and if Taito Iwasa like fakes a takedown, then he can get the win pretty much. Like, say if he goes for one takedown, because I'm pretty sure Marcin Tibera went for a takedown against him. Yeah, well, obviously he did because he got him on the ground, but he went for a takedown once, and then obviously he did it another time, I'm pretty sure. But Greg Hardy was really, really defensive. So if Taito Iwasa makes him feel like that, if he just goes for one takedown, then Greg Hardy's just mad defensive, and he could lean his chin too far back, and then Taito Iwasa could miss with the hook, but clip him with the right hand. So I feel like Taito Iwasa probably gets probably a second round KO. Yeah, early second round KO in my opinion. Next fight I'll be predicting will be Stephen Thompson versus Gilbert Burns. Very fun fight. Both guys have never fought someone like each other before. Thompson has fought one guy who's really well rounded in Rory McDonald, but he mugged him off and made it look easy. Obviously, Woodley can wrestle like Burns can wrestle, but the thing is, Woodley's a bit of a better wrestler than Burns, and Burns is wrestling and he's decent, but he usually goes for it when an opponent overextends, and Thompson doesn't usually overextend. He's always moving his head when he's throwing strikes or kicks. His head's always off the center line. His footwork is just next level. Maybe a freak accident. Well, not a freak accident, but maybe something crazy can happen, like, Petez hitting him with the big overhand right, Maybe something like that can happen. I don't know. Well, not the overhand right, jumping off the cage and it was a big right hand Superman punch. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? The thing is, right, Burns can do it all. He's got the clinch. He's got decent wrestling when an opponent, overextends themselves. He could go for the single leg, but he rarely goes for that. It's usually the opponent throws something big, or Gilbert Burns is in trouble and just goes for a desperate takedown. He doesn't really. He sort of does it as an counter to when the opponent really overextends themselves, or maybe if he's in the clinch with him, he'll try and get him down. When it comes to his striking, like, he usually just throws big hooks, a few jabs, big hooks, inside and outside leg kicks, and the occasional head kick usually. And he'll fake the front kick off the front of his leg. While Thompson, I just feel like his front leg side kick in southpaw will just, Burns won't be able to get anywhere near him. He's quite the plodder, Burns is, and he does gas himself out quite a bit. But Thompson off his back was useless against Woodley, and if Burns does somehow get it down, which I don't think he will, because he could go for the single leg. He really could go for a single leg, but he never does. So that isn't really. I mean, I could go out on a limb and say, oh yeah, well, he'll probably go for this because Thompson's leg's there to be taken, and he could go for the leg kicks and then hit him with the big right hand. All I'll say is, if it somehow goes to a decision, they seem to like not be nice to Thompson, the judges. They seem to like, it just seems to, he seems to win the fight, like the Woodley fight and the Till fight. I know the first Woodley fight and the Till fight, they were very, very, very close. I didn't watch the second fight, but I heard Thompson, a lot of people thought Thompson won that too. And the judges just seem to not like his style. They just seem to give it to the other person. I'm thinking, it's fairly clear that he won. I know they're close fights, but most people think he won. So, like, why, I don't know. I just feel like if it goes to decision and Burns even just lands little things on him, they'll just think, oh, Burns is more significant or whatever. Let's just give it to Burns. Oh, he took him down one time. Let's just give it to Burns. That's the thing that Thompson's got going against him. Obviously, fighting with his hands down. If Burns backs him up or gets him in the clinch or gets him on the ground, especially gets him on the ground, he's in quite a bit of trouble. Burns doesn't really go for submission finishes anymore, does he? Which is good in a way, because sometimes the opponent can escape. He's usually going for position, but I feel like Thompson will definitely get gassed under Burns, won't he? So this will be an interesting fight, but I feel like Thompson's main game, his bounces, the way he bounces, he times those bounces to his opponent coming in and counters them. And also, he's very, very good at fighting in both stances. Anyone can just switch stances. Oh, look, I'm southpaw now. Bam, bam. Look, I'm throwing punches. Look at me. Look at me. But in reality, anyone can just switch their stance and try and throw stuff, but it's about being able to defend and move around in that stance as well, and loads more stuff. So Thompson can do that. He can fight efficiently in the southpaw stance, so a lot of people struggle. I just feel like, unless Burns comes in with some master plan, which I don't think he will, he'll probably just think, all right, the chin's there for the hitting. If Petez can hit it, I can hit it. But it ain't that simple. But Thompson has got a good chin on him, to be fair. So we'll just put Usman as well, and Usman got dropped by Burns. But Burns' chin ain't very good, so maybe Thompson can just piece him up. And I think Thompson probably gets a third round TKO, a mid third round TKO. I think Burns tries to empty the tank really quick. He gets battered in the second, even more battered in the third, but then just gets finished in the third. That's what I think. So yeah, Thompson, third round TKO. It is interesting because obviously Thompson does get clipped by a few things. Vicente Luque came forward and hit him with some stuff. But against Jeff Neal, Thompson pretty much was safe for the whole fight. Just tip-tapped him from a distance, made it look absolutely, utterly easy. Thompson's got this in the bag, really. So on to the main event, McGregor versus Poirier. In their second fight, McGregor was landing some good technical combinations, left straight, right uppercut, etc. But he just didn't move. He didn't check or move his way out of the leg kicks. He got up from the takedown, which was really good. Obviously, I know against Khabib he couldn't get up, but against Khabib and Dustin, two totally different people. And obviously, McGregor probably thought, oh, Dustin's going to stand with me like he stands with everyone else for the most part, apart from Hooker I think it was the fourth and fifth, or it might have just been the fifth. He took down Hooker. Apart from that, Dustin didn't really go for the takedowns that much. So McGregor just didn't expect it, did he? Yeah, so I feel like, but the thing is, how is McGregor going to show up? Because if he comes in with a boxing footwork, it won't really work out that well for him, in my opinion. I know he plodded in, he came in more flat-footed in the Khabib fight, came in flat-footed against Cowboy, and, I know he's still got the quick finish and the shoulder strikes are really impressive and all that jazz. But the thing is with him, right, he doesn't really carry the same power as he does at featherweight. I mean, look what he did to Dustin at featherweight, dropped him with that left hand, knocked out Aldo cold. I know McGregor isn't as big a power puncher as people hype him up to be. It's more precision and timing and accuracy and countering, as he says. But he was definitely carried more power at featherweight, while at lightweight, I mean, he did do well to knock down Eddie all those times, but he just needs to be more bothered about sniping instead of like one big shot. I know he whips Dustin's chin back, but let's be real, if you're really struggling against Dustin, he's got a lot of heart, but ain't really got a next level chin. If you're struggling against him, how are you going to cope against the people who have got next level chins like Dustin Gage and Charles Oliveira? Even Michael Chandler to a degree as well. How are you going to be able to deal with those sort of people? I mean, it will just be quite an interesting fight in my opinion. It will be a really interesting fun fight to see how McGregor comes back. I just think he'll think, oh, it was a bit unlucky in the first one, and he'll just come back however he feels, and he probably won't be throwing the kicks. He'll just be going for the punches again, blah, blah. I know there was videos of him kicking the bag and all that, but that doesn't really mean much, does it? I don't know, man. It's just one of them. It's such a difficult, complex one to pick. I'll probably have to go for... But the thing is, let's talk about Dustin a bit first. Volume puncher, very good head movement, a lot of heart, a lot of stamina, good at defending punches with his elbow, and obviously the low calf kicks. I feel like he'll go for them again, and maybe McGregor will catch him and then throw a big left hand and drop him and the fight will be over. I don't know. Very interesting fight, though. I'm going to go for Dustin Poirier, third round TKO this time. I just don't think McGregor's got it anymore. If he does win, fair play, I'm not going to hop. But to be honest, I do want Dustin to win, though, because I do like fighters who have a lot of adversity throughout their career and then, they gradually get better and better and come back. I really do like to see those things. So, yeah, I do think Dustin Poirier probably gets a third round TKO. That's just my opinion. But, yeah, let's look at the other fights on the card quickly then. It is a real shame Sean Brady versus Kevin Lee got cancelled. That was a real shame. Kevin Lee got injured. It just sucks, but it is what it is. Irene Aldana versus Yana. I don't know how to say. I don't know anything about either of them. Let's go for Yana as she's had more fights. Sure. Oh yeah, Sean O'Malley. Yeah, he'll win. To be honest, I'll talk about that briefly. Right. His other opponent had to pull out, and the thing is, a lot of people are debating: is it good that he's just been slowly raised through the ranks again? Because Vera tested him so much and then finished him. Vera was too much of a test too soon, all that jazz. And to be honest, after this, I do want to see him against someone better again. But I do like how the UFC are giving him easier fights at the moment. I think that's best. They do want to build him up as the future, so that's cool. Ryan Hall versus Ela Topuria. I don't know how to say that. I feel like Ryan Hall hasn't fought a lot. He's only really got the grappling. Let's have a look at this guy then quickly. Let's see what 24 years old, 10 in 0, At the end of the day, like with Ryan Hall, right, Saul Rogers was doing well on top. I know he's got really, really good like leg locks and what have you, but at the end of the day, punches, decision, punch, submission, and a Condit choke. Oh, you got quite a few submission wins. You know what? I feel like apart from leg locks, unless you get stuck in a leg lock, this guy's pretty much going to absolutely batter Ryan Hall, to be honest with you. He does go for them, the Imanari rolls, and you move your leg back, like you move your front leg back, and you can't move your back leg back in time. So he usually gets that back leg in a heel hook. So But I think if you've got half decent grappling, you'll be able to go with him. Obviously, if it's like a bloody grappling match, then yeah, he's probably going to win. But in MMA, I feel like a lot of he hasn't fought the cream of the crop yet, and I think this guy, he'll probably beat him. Oh, right, who else is on the fight? Who else is on the card? Let's see who else we got. Let's go back. All right then. So, early prelims then. Okay. Trevin, Dricus Duplessis. I think Duplessis will probably win. Jennifer Maya versus Jessica I think Maya will win, and Brad Tavares will probably win his fight. And I don't know those other two at all. So, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. And, yeah, see you. Have a good one.